Welcome to San Bernardino, California for the nightcap. Al Houghton Stadium is the site for this Northwest Regional matchup. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and Gillette, Wyoming square off. Hi everybody, I'm Trey Bender alongside Greg Olson for this one. Glad you're with us. Two teams coming from different perspectives. Idaho already has a convincing win here, and for Wyoming, it's a return trip to San Bernardino.
Wyoming brings back 5 starters from last year's 2017 state champions. Idaho jumped out early, beat Washington 16-6.
They looked really good in a run rule victory, and we talk about this Coeur d'Alene team. They got it done early with an 11-run first that really set the tone.
Well, they jumped on Washington early, and it was a hit parade. Jake Dannenberg with multiple hits. Avery Sherry and Cooper Smith had a great game at the plate.
And they have a core of guys that have been together a long time, and they're hoping that pays off and they can get their record to 2-0. And Gillette, Wyoming, the energy capital of the nation, and kids that really play hard, and they're going to try to surprise this Idaho team.
Well, they're back again, so they have the experience of being here. I shouldn't expect a whole lot of nerves. Mason Newland's on the mound. He was here last year, so we should see a great effort from Wyoming.
So it's the second game in the Northwest Regional today, day 2. Idaho and Wyoming ready to square off, double elimination format. First pitch coming up next. Day 2 wrapping up at Al Houghton Stadium, Northwest Region play. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho trying to go to 2-0. Gillette, Wyoming, their first game in the Northwest Regional here in San Bernardino. Temperature starting to cool off a little bit. We were about 106 degrees under the century mark now as Avery Cherry leads off the Coeur d'Alene lineup. He's the coach's kid and had a couple singles in their first game. But DeBoer in that cleanup spot, a very dangerous left-handed hitter. He can do some damage with the bat.
And Cooper Smith had a nice game as well.
And they're going to be facing Mason Newland, one of 5 returners that you mentioned from last year. And girlfriend's lower batting averages.
Oh, I completely agree. and they raise ERAs and they lower batting averages.
And maybe his pitching can lower some batting averages.
I wonder how long that theory is going to last.
Avery Cherry looks at strike one. That's Jeff Thompson holding up the right arm. He's our home plate umpire. You got James Davis Jr., Jason Field, and Ralph Metz from first to third. That hot corner's been a hot one in this regional. Metz will be busy maybe over there. We've seen that be pretty consistent through the course of this regional.
You know what? The umpiring has been great. You know, the volunteers, they're out here on their own, and I think they've done a great job. If it's a close bang-bang call, they get together and discuss it.
Yep.
Make sure that they got it right, and that's the most important thing.
This Coeur d'Alene team looked really good in that 16-6 win over Washington. Jumped on them early. A little bit of a rally from the West Seattle Little Leaguers, but then they added 5 more to win it going away. There's a liner off the glove of Schilling. The first baseman then throws it behind the pitcher, and Cherry's on his way to second. He's going to make a big turn, and he's going to hang on right there.
Well, that couldn't have gone worse for Wyoming. Line drive to first base. Riley Schilling knocks it down. It's well struck. So Riley Schilling strike knocks it down. You want to go over the defense?
Well, here's Schilling. He had a tough time with that one, and then the throwing error. But Doerr's kind of the leader back there. He is the manager's son. Man in the shortstop position, Aiden Doerr. Runner at second, Cherry, and here's Chris Reynolds, the opposing pitcher. Strike one. I'm going to rule it a hit there and an error as well.
I'm going to need that telestrator to explain why that all happened. The catcher did a great job of backing up. He's supposed to go backing up the plate at first base, so he is 3/4 down the line, so nobody's at home plate. And the throw goes towards home plate. Well, the third baseman, Hecker, goes after it, leaving third unoccupied.
Reynolds hits a bouncer to Hecker at the hot corner and throws it, and it's off the glove of Schilling. And everybody's safe. Runners on the corners now. So not the infield play that this Wyoming team was hoping for here in the first.
Well, routine ground ball to third base. Hecker fields it, comes up. Throw is a little up the line. It looked like Riley Schilling might have stretched too early. And when the first baseman stretches too early, he has little to no chance of any ball that is off the line that he is stretching on. So try to teach as a first baseman to stretch when you see where the ball's coming from. And he stretched a little bit early. It pulled him off. He wasn't able to catch it.
And here's the aforementioned Cooper Smith, who has a really good bat. His dad is the president of the league there in Coeur d'Alene. Only child. Has virtually every hat and uniform of every major league team. He's a baseball nut. Pitches inside, ball one. And there's a runner breaking and no throw, and Reynolds takes second base.
That was a delayed steal. Took off late, saw that the catcher was going to toss the ball back to Newland, and he took off on the throw back to the pitcher. No play. Mason Newland now is out there going, I just should have had 2 outs. You know, line drive to first base should have been caught. Ground ball to third was an easy play. And now I got runners on second and third.
Smith pulls it past the first baseman, Schilling. Cherry will score. They're going to hold up Reynolds at third, and it's 1-0. So Smith, after driving into yesterday, picks up an RBI here in the first inning.
Smith, hitters count, 2-0 fastball. Hard ground ball. But Riley Schilling was right there. He probably should have been able to knock it down. I think he would have been able to have a play at the plate as well. But tough start for the boys from Wyoming.
Watch it all the way in. It's just simple baseball stuff. Okay, pitch it, throw it, hit it, field it. Simple. Don't let all that get to us, all right? Just slow it down, make the plays, get an out, let's get the thing going a little bit, okay? We're fine, but you got to focus. You got to get locked in here, okay? All right, let's go. We're good. Let's go.
Mike Doerr. It's a blue-collar bunch. They battled through some adversity. They actually came through the losers bracket to win state. They lost a game 17-12. Shook that one off and came back and won the state championship there in Wyoming.
Well, that was the perfect speech. He goes out, you know, soft and fluffy. Hey, we're all right. We'll just got to, you know, catch the ball, throw the ball, do what we do. And then he goes into, but you need to focus. And that right now is the one thing that we're missing from Wyoming is we've had 3 plays that should have been made. Mason Newland standing out there. I've got nobody out. 2 errors already up on the board for Wyoming, and he's done nothing wrong in my book.
Austin DeBoer now with runners at first and third. This guy's a good-looking swing, and there's a runner going down to second. No throw, Cooper Smith in there. They're just really opportunistic. They're taking that opportunity and not getting challenged.
Well, that was a delayed steal again, so Idaho is taking advantage of the fact that as soon as the catcher Lubin throws the ball back to Mason Newland, the runner at first has extended his lead, and he's sitting out there waiting for him to toss the ball back, and as soon as he does, the ball's in the air, the runner from first steals.
2-0 to DeBoer is fouled off.
So we'll see if Wyoming makes an adjustment to what Idaho's doing on the bases and, you know, get a chance to reset in the dugout, call a timeout. Hey, next time that we do this, you know, Josh Lubin, the catcher, why don't you give me an arm fake and then fire this ball down to second base. Let's see if we can get an easy out.
Hold, foul.
Mason Newland throwing a changeup. Austin DeBoer way out front.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, beautiful part of the country, home of Don Larson, one of the greats through that perfect game in the World Series. Late on that swing, fouls it off.
He had one of the all-time great catchers, Yogi Berra. Come on, Trey, give me one of the Yogi-isms.
It's not over till it's over.
That one was easy. Come on, come up with one of his better ones.
The 2-2. I gave you one. That's pulled foul.
Well,
you only wanted one. You don't want 2 from me.
Well, I'm going with the better one. This game is 90% half mental.
That's a good one.
Austin DeBoer giving quite an at-bat. He's seen a couple change-ups, pulled him foul, a couple fastballs away, hit him to the left side.
Best athlete on the team, tall, lanky kid with an opportunity to drive in a run here or 2. Lays off of that one, 3-2 now.
Jeff Thompson did not see that. It was a couple inches off the plate. Josh Lubin, the catcher, does a nice job of framing it back.
3-2 fastball lifted in the air to left field. Peterson coming on, can't get there. 2 runs are going to score. Reynolds and Smith come in. And caught between second and third now is DeBoer. The throw to third, they got him. That's the first out of the inning. And it's now a 3-0 game.
Austin DeBoer had a great at-bat, fought off a lot of pitches. This one he hits a fly ball to left field. Seth Peterson in left field gets a little bit of a late break. He's reading it, and then he starts coming in, starts almost losing his balance a little bit, dives forward, ball gets behind him, and then Austin DeBoer just got a little bit greedy trying to turn a double into a triple.
3 runs on 3 hits, and he just got caught in no man's land here.
I think we're going to discuss the play at third base. It was a bang-bang play, but I thought the ball beat the Austin DeBoer by a foot. Coach Sherry is very serious. He's got his Marine face on.
Yeah, former Marine. And his kids really come out on fire the first 2 games they played. We talked about the 11-run first inning against Washington, 3 on the board here in the first against Wyoming. That's focus right out of the gate. And setting the tone.
Ralph Metz, the third base umpire, they are discussing if this is reviewable, which it is. It was a tag play. Tag plays are reviewable. You see Austin DeBoer just stuck in no man's land. I still think it got him, but you know what? You see the foot got under the glove a little bit. It's going to be a little bit closer. I'm probably, 1 for 7 in San Bernardino on the reviews.
And Metz is right there. You saw he was right on top of the bag in perfect position to make that call as a third base umpire.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're discussing other than the fact that, hey, you know what, I can at least go out and have a discussion with him, see if I can get it overturned. It's close, but Austin DeBoer's out.
And it will be an out. They will not challenge it. So DeBoer trying to stretch the double into a triple is out number 1. Base is cleared. Cooper Erickson now.
You know, for me, it's always funny when I see coaches go out and have a discussion and then the umpires all get together. And the guy that was 2 feet from the base that made the call goes and asks if anybody else that's at least 95 feet away from him had a better view.
Had a better angle, yeah.
And I'm just kind of, you know, when I've been coaching, I'm sitting in the dugout going, you were right on the play. Just stick with your call. Don't go ask for any help.
Saw Erickson there. His grandpa played for the Dodgers, which is kind of a cool thing. And then ran into one of the Coeur d'Alene people on the way to the booth here. He actually paid a visit to this ballpark in March just to check out the field and visualize playing here. And here he is. How about that?
That's great.
Happened to be in the area, checked out the field. It's a little bit cooler in March. And now he's playing in the Northwest Regional. Ground ball hit up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Clouston. The throw, not in time.
That was a wonderful play by second baseman Kyler Clouston. Diving backhand, just wasn't able to get the ball out of his glove. Just couldn't get the ball out clean out of his glove, and it's hard to make a good hard throw from your knees, but gotta tip your cap. That was a great play.
Braden Newby now, the shortstop, who was their game 1 starting pitcher, strike 1. This is the guy that avoids washing that jersey after a win, so that is not a clean jersey he's got on right there.
Well, I mean, that jersey's got a little Idaho dirt on it because he couldn't wash it after they win state.
Yeah.
And now it's got a little San Bernardino dirt. I think that's been washed, unless he hasn't.
Well, that's a winner's jersey right there.
Unless he hasn't gotten dirty in weeks.
Said he tries to avoid washing it. Sometimes it's out of his control.
Sometimes every once in a while it just makes its way into the wash. Mom takes over.
1-2 is pulled foul, stays alive. Well, chance for a big inning, already 3 across. They have 4 hits in this one.
You know, it could be a worse scenario. We've had one that the kid sleeps with his jersey.
Yeah, we don't know if he wears it, he just needs it near him. It's fouled off.
Now, if Braden Newby slept with the jersey that he doesn't wash after a win, I've seen a lot of good.
You got to air it out a little bit, don't you? You got to hang it in the closet, air it out a little bit.
I've seen a lot of good superstitions up here in San Bernardino.
1-2 is pulled foul. Tried to wait on that one out in front.
We got the race. This is going to be going downhill. It's in the bush.
Careful over there.
That looks like you on the golf course right there, trying to find out where your ball is in that bush.
I'm always right. Everything's right. Chopper off the hill to get it. The pitcher throwed it down to first. And they out recorded by Newland. Erickson moves down to second base.
Mason Newland taking care of it himself. Nice play, bounced off the mound. The dirt in front of home plate is hard, so you see the high chop, and he gets up there before it has a chance to bite and sit down in the grass, scoops it, picks it clean. Knows he has no shot to get Cooper Erickson at second base, and he just secures the out.
See, like my golf ball, that baseball's going to be hard to find.
Well, your golf ball's usually over the fence in the bush.
They need some help over there. Jake Dannenberg now, the batter, had a 2-run single in their first victory. It's a souvenir they're looking for, baseball in foul ground.
I don't know how the ball would have bounced and gotten over the fence. Well, I might be wrong. I guess the ball bounced and got over the fence.
Got it. It's got it in the right hand there. Get to keep those. Here's a 2-1. And even now, 2-2. Dannenberg, second baseman, trying to drive in another run. Hits a little flare out towards second. And Clouston gloves it to end the inning. 3 across for Idaho. The team from Coeur d'Alene takes the early advantage here. We go to the bottom of the first at Al Houghton Stadium. Three 3-0 Idaho in front of Wyoming. The Coeur d'Alene Little Leaguers trying to move to 2-0. Wyoming's first game, and they'll get their first opportunity with the bats here. As we look at the Gillette Little Leaguers who came through the losers bracket to win state, they've got some coaches' kids, and they have a couple Petersons brothers in the lineup, the first and seventh spots. But Aiden Dorr is Mike Dorr's son, the manager. He bats second. Newland's going to hit third, one of the best athletes, and their starting pitcher. And the opposing pitcher is Chris Reynolds. Power and location is his story. And he is a guy that last year they moved into majors at age 11, so he's only 12, and he's a good one.
Yeah, he got a little bit of time yesterday in their blowout win over Washington. You know, probably knocked the edge off the nerves a little bit, so he should go out there. And these Idaho pitchers have been blessed with 14 runs in the first inning. You know, they're pretty comfortable knowing, you know what, I can relax, throw strikes.
Defensively, trying to help out Reynolds, it's Newby, who started game one as a pitcher playing shortstop, one of their top athletes. Dannenberg, who's been making a lot of plays in this regional over at second base. And Schwartzer patrols that center field position. The captain out there in center. Avery Cherry, the catcher, the coach's kid behind the dish. And here is Seth Peterson to lead things off for Wyoming. Seth and Aiden Peterson batting first and seventh. The brothers in this lineup. First offering in there, a fastball for strike one. Lil P.
Little P. Does that make the other Peterson, Aiden,
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
P?
he's a bigger kid, the older kid. Really, versatility is the number one thing that stands out with Seth. He can put him anywhere on the field, and he produces for him.
Chris Reynolds does have a nice fastball, 67-68. Checking into the dugout, probably hearing a little bit, settle down, deep breath, relax.
Fastball, good pop on that one. The appeal down to the first base umpire. James Davis Jr. says no, he did not go. It's 3-1.
Well, it would be a big boost for Wyoming if Seth Peterson can find a way on base.
Strike called there, full count.
Being a good leadoff hitter, patient, seeing some pitches. Takes a 3-1 pitch. That was a take all the way.
And he's on. Leadoff walk, Peterson on board.
Well, Chris Reynolds just needs to settle in a little bit. You know, you can get rid of all the nerves that you want day one, but until you actually get out there and you're starting the game and the lights are on.
Here's Aiden Dorr laying a bunt down. Nice play, shoveling it to first. The pitcher Reynolds did not waste any time getting out number one as Peterson moves down to second base. Sacrifice works there for Dorr.
Well, first pitch fastball, Aiden Dorr bunting all the way. Good bunt. You know, when you go to the right side of the infield, as I'm looking at it, and the pitcher generally as a right-hander falls off that way, so it's a little bit easier for him to get that. Probably would have liked to have seen, you know, the bunt down the third baseline, but it was a good bunt altogether. Avery Sherry back there behind the plate as a catcher is requesting a check swing call.
Every time, huh?
Anytime that bat comes off the shoulder. And he is not getting one of them until he turns around and asks Jeff Thompson, home plate umpire, to please request. See what his opinion on it was.
He may keep James Davis busy over there. 1-1 is fouled off. Newland at the plate. His brother Matt was also a Little League World Series participant. One of 5 returning from that team last year. Mason Newland. 2-2, bounces away from the catcher, and breaking for third is Peterson, and he's in there.
Nice base running by Seth Peterson. He recognized that the ball was a breaking ball, going to end up in the dirt, took off. Avery Sherry back behind the plate. Catcher was able to block it and keep it in front, but the jump by Seth Peterson was just not even going to give it a play.
The base dislodged, and along with his umpiring duties over there, Ralph Metz
fixes third base.
Yeah, he does a little bit of everything.
You got to do a little bit of everything.
Number 91.
Gets those hands dirty.
It's fouled off. You got to be a versatile guy as a player, but also as an umpire. I mean, these guys put in a lot of hours.
You're fixing catching equipment when you're umpiring behind home plate. You're taking bats and handing them to kids. You're engaged with the kids.
Newland got a good rip, got a piece of that one.
Mason Newland is slowly but surely catching up on Chris Reynolds' fastball. The first couple foul balls were down the right field line into the netting. That one was straight back. He's getting up to the timing. Let's see if Chris Reynolds throws that breaking ball again.
Swing and a miss, strikes out Newland.
And that was a good breaking ball by Chris Reynolds. Good timing, 2-2. Mason Newland had just caught up to the fastball, and that would be your traditional overhand curveball. Looked like it broke about 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Really nice pitch, and a good timely strikeout. Very timely strikeout. Runner on third base, less than 2 outs, a ground ball. Idaho's defense is playing back. They were conceding the run. Now it's really important for Avery Sherry, if they're going to call that curveball, that he's got to be a wall back there behind home plate and block it, keep it in front with a runner on third base.
1-1 to Lubin is fouled off. Wyoming was here last year. 5 of those kids, hoping that'll pay off. One of the veterans, Josh Lubin, the 13-year-old, is ready. The 1-2 offering, swing and a miss. And Reynolds strikes him out as the catcher throws down to first, and that'll end the inning. Nothing across for Wyoming. They strand a runner at third. We're through 1 inning. Idaho 3, Wyoming nothing. Second inning coming up from Al Houghton Stadium.
T. Yes. Yep. I stole it.
Idaho 3, Wyoming nothing as we move to the second inning here. Northwest Region, double elimination regional here at San Bernardino. And we're joined now by Marge Villa from the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. You've got the attire you played in. I know you have a lot of stories, and you always love coming to the Diamond, especially seeing kids at this age.
Oh, listen, I'm telling you, they should make it a must that the kids should play baseball, because it teaches them, you know, to play as a group instead of against one another.
It's a team sport. I know you appreciate that.
Absolutely agree, and especially the All-Stars. The kids from all different teams come together, you know, and I'm sure it was a lot like you. You guys didn't have a farm system in the girls' league, and you guys just came together for the season, and so it was very similar to the All-Stars.
Right. The only advantage, some of us, not all of us. All right. Oh.
Foul ball there.
The difference between a lot of us is they didn't play baseball, girls baseball, in some of the cities. And when we went to the East Coast, well, then that was all they did was play, you know, baseball.
Really?
Yeah. And there were some that maybe high school or something like that, they'd play, you know, softball. But mostly it was all baseball.
That's great.
Marge Villa with us. Could you talk about the Women in Baseball exhibit in Cooperstown? I haven't had a chance to see it. I've been to Cooperstown. That has to be a special thing.
Oh, I mean, it's a jewel as far as I'm concerned, because it tells you everything about every one of us, plus what they accomplished, what they did, and how they started, and everything like that. And, you know, I could go on and on and on, but it'd bore you.
No, not at all.
But,
Oh, that wouldn't be boring at all. Please go on and on.
Well, I started to play when I was about 10 years old with the Montebello softball team. And I liked it, but when the baseball team started in the Midwest, boy, I was right there. I mean, there was no ifs and ands about with my parents. I said, I want to go.
What do you like so much about this sport? You talked about the teamwork, but it's a game that it surprises you every time you go out and watch a baseball game.
It teaches you self-confidence. I mean, and it teaches you how to get along with your players and other players. I mean, because it's so hard for me to describe it to someone that, you know, because when we would play, of course, God, we have about 12, cities that we had to go to. And each one of us, although we weren't supposed to, you know, fraternize, but we did anyway. But it teaches you to get along with one another.
And sometimes that's not an easy thing, but it's for the best.
Oh, it's
for the team.
Yeah, especially if you're out there in team, because boy, let me tell you, they come spike high, and then we kind of rough up the gloves a little bit, you know.
Well, I've heard some Greg Olson stories about how tough the game can be. I know you guys could share a lot of those experiences.
I love the coming in spikes high, and you rubbed up the glove a little bit, make it a little bit rough when you laid down a tag. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then you spin them, boy. Oh, I'm telling you. You get your, you get your spikes. In fact, I've got a big scar right here where some gal jumped and she just scratched me right here. I'll show you. See?
The love of the game.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one, about 4 inches long.
But let me tell you, 3 days after that, we played in the same over in their side, and I thought, where is she? I gave her a spike too.
Did you really?
Oh, heck yes.
What positions did you play? What was your main
Short.
position? Shortstop. Usually the best athlete on the team is at shortstop, right?
Yeah, that's the most dirty one too.
You're involved in everything out there.
Oh yeah, but as a whole, we got so that we could get along with one another. We kid with one another. If they come to our club, we'd go to their club, and usually some of them were still, with a little something on their shoulder, and we didn't like that. But
A little chip on their shoulder?
oh yeah, and but as a rule, we got along pretty good.
Second out of the inning.
So as a rule, you guys get along now for the most part, other than a couple?
Well, we're so scattered. I mean,
Yeah.
we have, half of my friends, they're not here anymore.
Yeah.
So, I'm 82, and
Well, you look great in the uniform. Is classic. It brings out the history of the game. I mean, I think, obviously, if people appreciate history, baseball is a great way to learn about history. It has such a long line.
You know what it taught me? I don't know about anybody else. It taught me to get along with various types of people. I mean, we had all kinds of nationalities, where some of the girls would say, oh, you don't know how to go with her, she's so. No, I'm glad that my parents taught me to get along. I don't care what the color you were or what nationality you were. And it paid off as far as I was concerned. I never got in a fight, and thank God I didn't, because I was a good boxer.
Well,
I mean, you know what? I'm surprised you haven't gotten any fights if you're going to go take care of business and go spiking the next shortstop because she got you the week before.
Oh, we do. We get even with them.
Yeah.
Somehow
well, I mean, that's
or
part
another.
of the game, and it's hard to explain, especially when we're on a Little League broadcast. But,
Right.
It's part of my game, and it's part of, I love the fact that you have in a clubhouse, there's 25 different personalities,
Right.
and there's multiple nationalities. And you have to learn to get along with everybody, because if you
Everyone.
don't, you're disrupting your team.
Right.
And that's the most important thing.
we have a
Right.
pitching change here, and we're going to cut you loose here, but thank you so much for coming up here. And it's
Oh.
always good to see you. Looking great in the uniform. The Kenosha Comets, right?
Right.
Marge Villa.
Marge,
joining
thank
us
you
here.
so much.
Thanks for coming up. Top of the second inning. Part of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. And we have a pitching change. We'll get you up to speed on that in this 3-0 game here in San Bernardino. Three 3-0 Idaho. Thanks to Marge Villa for joining us here in the booth. Top of the second inning. Josh Lubin is a new pitcher for Wyoming, as he comes in for Mason Newland with a runner at first and 2 down. And Chris Reynolds, the hitter for Idaho.
Well, I believe that move was made to keep Mason Newland available. He's going to have 2 days off. He went over 50 pitches. He started the last hitter under 50. 50 pitches is the deadline for more than 2 days off, so he'll be back in 3 days.
And that's hit to the shortstop and taking it to the bag
Mason Newland.
to end the inning. So good job by Lubin coming in and doing his job. 2.5 innings complete. and Idaho leads Wyoming 3-0. Idaho a 3-0 lead, bottom of the second. That girl going the ice cream sandwich route here at the ballpark. Focus on fun, fitness, and fundamentals. The Little League journey starts with T-ball. Visit littleleague.org/T-ball for our free 10-week practice plan to keep the youngest Little Leaguers moving, having fun, and learning the games of baseball and softball. And
I want one of those.
Concession
Now, you know
stand
what? I'm
keeps
back to
calling.
the root beer float. Hey, the funnel cake's finally open out in right field.
Yep.
As soon as we get a little bit of a break, I'll be gone. It's either that or the root beer float, and the root beer float place is closed.
Disdain on the face of my broadcast partner.
That means devastation. Been waiting all day for that, sitting up here in 105.
Mason Drube is going to lead things off for Wyoming. He is the number 5 hitter. This team down 3-0, and he's hit by the pitch. Coming inside is Reynolds, and he hits him.
Well, this is the second time that Wyoming's got the leadoff runner on, and the first inning they were unable to do anything with it. You'd like to see them find a way to get one of these guys across the plate, relax a little bit. Took that one just right, turned his back, let himself get hit, hustled down to first base.
Now Riley Schilling, who has played some catcher and some first base this season for the Gillette Little Leaguers. Big fan of the Colorado Rockies.
How far is Gillette from Colorado, Trey?
There's a
From Denver.
bunt. Second baseman covering, and they get the out there, as that is a good play by Smith to get it to Dannenberg. Moving up to second is Drube, and there's one down. I'll have to check the map for that previous question.
Well, we've seen Wyoming sack bunt in the first inning to get the runner in scoring position with one out, and they just did it again. Perfect sack bunt. Make the first baseman come in, field it. Second baseman has to cover. There's a lot of moving parts when you lay down a sacrifice bunt. And it was perfectly executed by Idaho.
Now Aiden Peterson, AP, the younger of the Peterson kids. Seth led off the game. He's batting in the 7th spot, Aiden is.
He's got a healthy swing, a good swing. He's just a little bit late on the fastball. Stays in the box. He is going at that gum.
Misses on that one and strikes out. 2 down.
And this is exactly what happened in the first inning. They left the runner stranded. He got to third base, but 0-2 fastball up out of the zone. It looks really good to hit, but it's tough to catch up with. So Chris Reynolds doing exactly what he wants to do.
Dominic Hecker now. Strike one, a fastball. Hecker has played football, basketball, and baseball competitively, but the best thing about Little League, hitting bombs. Nothing like the round tripper. We saw several last night.
I saw a lot last night. 5 or 6, 5 from Southern Cal, 2 from Northern Cal.
And he went inside with him, and he went after it and strikes out. 4 Ks now for Reynolds, and he cruises along. A runner stranded, 3-0 Idaho. Third inning is on tap. Smith, DeBoer, and Erickson coming up next for Coeur d'Alene. Idaho trying to move to 2-0. They lead Wyoming 3-0, top of the third. All of the runs coming in the first inning. Are you looking for training and info from coaches, umpires, league volunteers, and parents? Get free backyard tips, practice plans, drills, videos, and more. Visit littleleagueuniversity.org today. Here's a look at the Murray Hill Little Leaguers out of Oregon. As some of the other Little League fans looking on and watching this Northwest matchup, seeing if Idaho can go to 2-0. 3, 4, and 5 hitters up now for Coeur d'Alene.
Well, all the players are staying right here on campus. They have a nice set of dorms out in right field, out behind my favorite concession stand. And the players are all right here and local. There's a pool right in the middle of it. They all have their own dorm. It's got to be a blast for these kids to come out here, other than it being 107.
No, it's really comfortable now as we hit around that 90-degree mark about this time of night. You laugh, but when it was 107, it feels like it's about 70 right now. Do you experience a little bit of that during the day? Cooper Smith now. Good job with his patience at the plate, and he's on board with the leadoff walk.
Had an RBI in the first inning on a ground ball that got through the infield. He's had a good tournament so far.
And here's a guy that really has a good-looking swing. Austin DeBoer went opposite field, drove in a couple runs with a double, tried to stretch it to a triple and was thrown out.
Well, Austin DeBoer is not going to be bunting. I can tell you that. So at some point you just want to see a pitch and you just show bunt just to see a pitch, take a pitch.
There it is.
And you also get to see, the coaches get to see a little bit of how the Wyoming defense reacts. Third baseman Dominic Hecker charged. They rotated in the middle infield. And you get a little bit of an idea on how they're going to take care of your bunt. and it gives you a better idea of how to, play it offensively.
DeBoer's dad played in the Western Regionals as a kid. How cool is that?
That's really cool. You think he made the trip with him? Came back to San Bernardino?
Family's family. Here's the 1-2.
Good take, just a little bit outside. Home plate umpire Jeff Thompson has not expanded the strike zone. He is calling a good zone right now.
Pulls that one foul. Had a good rip at it. Favorite movie's The Natural. We put that up there on the screen, and that's a good one. Roy Hobbs.
Roy Hobbs.
Lightning striking the baseball.
Robert Redford. Pretty natural baseball player, too, from what I understand. He had a pretty good throwing motion.
Check swing foul. Robert Redford reportedly retiring from acting today. He made that official today.
Did he really? Huh. That's too bad.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, one of the best of all time. Here's a 2-2.
All right, I'm going to gamble, go with the sting.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Paul Newman right up there is an excellent actor as well. 3-2 now.
Josh Lubin needs to settle in, throw a strike right here, make something happen.
He's fooled in front of it, out number 1.
Great changeup. You see the sigh of relief on Josh Lubin's face. Changeup, and this has become the fad in Major League Baseball, is a changeup on the inside part of the plate. So the hitter recognizes the fastball is coming, looks like a fastball inside, so he's got to get the bat started, and it's a changeup and 10, 15 miles an hour slower than his fastball. Great pitch.
And Chase Saunders is going to hit. Pinch hitting opportunity for Saunders. Again, Idaho getting off to a quick start here with a 3-run first. They had 4 hits in that inning. The big one, a 2-run double from DeBoer. Trying to tack on some insurance here.
Well, it was about as bad a start as Wyoming could have imagined. Couple errors, throwing error, couple base hits, 3 runs go across, and they didn't get an out until Austin DeBoer ran into a first out at third base in the first inning. It was a disaster.
Can't talk about hitting the home runs, just got to let them happen.
Well, they don't happen if you talk about them.
There's a home run cut right there.
Yes, it was. That head was looking at the scoreboard out in left field. He needs to choke up the swing a little bit. Just do something, put this ball in play.
1-2. Good job by Dorr, the catcher. Keeping that runner over there at first base. Lubin deals it. Chased one high and strikes out. Tough one to lay off of that high pitch always for hitters.
That was a high changeup, but the speed difference going down to 54 miles an hour, he just wasn't able to lay off. So Josh Lubin's done a nice job coming in, settling down.
And now it's Braden Newby. Bounce back to the pitcher his first time out. And there's a good one. Happy Gilmore. Adam Sandler. Talking about golf. You like to talk golf.
The Bob Barker scene where they're fighting on the green. What's the matter, ball? Too good to go home?
Here's the 1-0. That's fouled off. That was a case in sports where you're trying to visualize the ball going in the hole. Baseball, visualize hitting the home run. You got to.
Carl Willis is the golf coach going, okay, the ball wants to go home. Let it go home.
It's its natural habitat, yeah.
All right.
Here's the 1-1. It's inside.
So that was a fastball, 61. He's been throwing a changeup that's been ranging from about 52 to 58. Does a real nice job of changing speeds.
Good pitch there, right on the edge, 2-2. Yeah, he kind of keeps you off balance, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you know, really doesn't throw the same speed twice. So right now in the last 3 pitches have been 61, 59, 55. And the hardest thing for a young pitcher is to go backwards in speed and try to, you know, soften it up and let him hit it.
Misses high with that one, a fastball, and he walks Newby. Well, can Idaho manufacture a run with 2 outs now? It's the bottom part of the order, but
Jake Dannenberg had a couple hits yesterday. He's been swinging a good bat. Comes up, he popped up to second base to end the inning in the first.
been productive in the bottom part of the order, and he hits it hard past the third baseman Hecker and down the line. Saunders rounds third. He scores, and into third safely, beating the tag is Newby. An RBI for Dannenberg, and it's 4-0.
Fastball middle of the plate. He gets the bat started. Ball's just too hard hit for Dominic Hecker to knock it down.
It was Smith that scored the run.
Smith scored the run. Gutsy base running. Is that Sanders? No. Braden Newby taking third base when the ball's right out in left field in front of him. So Idaho is back into their first and third mode. In the first inning, they had two situations where they did a delayed steal. And they are directly trying to take the bag uncontested. So if you watch, we'll probably see Jake Dannenberg at some point get an extended lead at first base. Wait for the catcher Dorr to start throwing the ball back to Lubin, as pitcher, and he will take off towards second base, and it's a tough play. Shortstop hadn't been covering in the first inning. Let's see if Wyoming made an adjustment, and you might want to try to steal the third out by throwing him out at second base.
Here's A.J. Curry pinch hitting with 2 down. Fastball strike called. Nelson Cruz, his favorite player. And he has several food items on his list: noodles, mac and cheese, and ice cream. 1-1.
Aren't mac and cheese noodles?
Yeah, but it's just noodles in general, it sounds like.
Okay.
Just separate from the cheese. You can go a lot of ways with that. Penne. There's a swing and a miss.
Nice changeup again, 54-mile-an-hour changeup, has some late sink to it. Now with 2 strikes, I'm definitely expecting Idaho to try to create some sort of play to get this run home.
That's hit into right field for a base hit. That will score Newby. RBI for Curry coming in a pinch hitter's role. It's 5-0.
Really nice piece of hitting by A.J. Curry. Gets a fastball away, hits it through the hole, the 43 hole. Fastball away right there, line drive. Schilling has no play on it. Peterson quickly gets the ball in, scores another run for Idaho.
And they're going to get the run of pinch hitters in here. Caden Simmons gets the call in the 9th spot in the order with runners at first and second.
Well, Little League has such a great rule about making sure that everybody gets playing time. Idaho has 13 players. If they had 12, each substitute would have to play 6 consecutive outs in the field and get 1 at bat. But because Idaho has 13 players, 4 extra players, the substitutes only have to get one at bat. So you can see that Idaho is getting a little bit of run of substitutes in, getting some swings, and it's paid off so far. Curry with a RBI single with 2 outs.
Simmons is an athlete. He, on an undefeated football team, scored a touchdown on the opening kickoff, then went to score 3 more touchdowns and throw for another as his team won a game.
I would
He's
hope
a
that they
complete
would win a
football
game,
player.
yeah.
And he has a chance to break this thing open right now. 5-0 top of the third. They're getting it done with 2 outs.
Josh Lubin right now just needs to settle in, get a ground ball, get out of here. Wyoming's put some guys on the bases. Just haven't been able to plate them yet.
Now you got a hitter's count 3-1.
So we focus on Caden Simons.
He walks him. Bases loaded. Pinch hitters delivering. Curry and then Simmons reaching.
Now we're at the back at the top of the lineup. Avery Sherry getting his 3rd at bat in the 3rd inning. Had a single to lead off the game directly to Riley Schilling at first base and struck out in the 2nd.
He has 3 singles in this regional. Ground ball to the third baseman. Stepping on the bag is Hecker to end the inning. Hit it right at the bag, and that'll end things. Idaho adds 2 more runs, and we're through 2.5 innings. It's Coeur d'Alene in front of Gillette 5-0. They've out-hit Wyoming 6-0 here at Al Houghton Stadium. The Coeur d'Alene Little Leaguers with 3 in the first and 2 runs in the third. They have a 5-0 lead over Wyoming. Bottom half of the third inning here at Al Houghton Stadium. Northwest Region play. Idaho trying to go to 2-0. Chris Reynolds humming right along.
Very effective. 30 pitches going into the 3rd inning. Just what you want to see in a back-to-back situation. Used 4 pitchers yesterday. Chris Reynolds was one of them. But this is a long week, and you don't want to start burning through pitchers.
Fastball's in there.
Wyoming both innings has gotten the leadoff guy on via walk and a hit batter. Desperately need Clouston to find a way to get on base. They're chasing 5 runs right now. Need to get something started.
Chased one inside, a pitch he should have laid off of, and a strikeout to open up the inning.
I think that would be the 3rd straight strikeout for Chris Reynolds, and all 3 of them have been way up out of the zone. Wyoming's, impatient. They can't let the ball get deep. Chris Reynolds throwing fairly hard, but you need to be able to see that ball's way over your head.
It's 5 Ks, and here's the top of the order, Seth Peterson. Takis? It's not tacos, Takis, his favorite food. Takis?
I don't know.
The chips.
They're chips, okay,
Thanks,
thank you.
Guys. Taco flavored chips. Do you want to go that route?
Sounds kind of good.
They talk about power and location with Reynolds. That was a book on him coming in. And the fact that he's only 12 years old, how good is he going to be next year? Maybe they'll be back on this stage again.
I don't know his birth date. I mean, if he's 12, he might time out. Depends on, we've had some 13-year-olds here. Just depends on the birth date. And Little League Baseball has switched the birth date around so much. I'm on the board at Newport Beach, and I don't know what the cutoff is. It was May for a long time. Now I think it's August. But again, it's switched around a couple times since I've been helping out.
But, you get that experience in majors at age 11. Here you are at age 12. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yes, he does. No, he's got a really good fastball, got a pretty good idea of what he's doing with it. He just showed a really nice breaking ball, 0-2.
And he fools the hitter there, Peterson, 2 down.
And there it is again, really good curveball late, a lot of depth.
Pulls the bottom out there.
I like that curveball, Trey. Deep, big break.
Aiden Dorr now. That's 4 consecutive Ks for Reynolds. He's humming right along here in the 3rd inning. Got the eye black working.
You got to have the eye black. At some point, you can't wear it anymore.
Bouncing ball to Dannenberg, a little bit to his left, and he throws out Dorr. Effective inning for Reynolds. 1, 2, 3 goes Wyoming. Through 3, Idaho 5, Wyoming nothing. Five 0 lead for Idaho over Wyoming, Northwest Regional play, top of the 4th. The Little League Grow the Game Grant Initiative has distributed over $2 million at the local level. Grant funding provides local Little Leagues resources for general improvement and to expand or establish softball, challenger division, and urban initiative programs. For more info, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. Well, Idaho has been impressive in the 2 games we have seen here in the Northwest Regional. They could be a team that comes out of this Northwest and wins the whole thing. They had the big victory in Game 1 over Washington 16-6 and a comfortable 5-0 lead over Gillette, Wyoming right here in Game 2.
We're going to have a new pitcher, Trey. Nathan Rivera. Tall right-hander. Nice, solid mechanics.
Comes in for Lubin. Newland, Lubin, and now Rivera.
Looks like Mason Droob has moved to first base.
It's the first year that Nathan has tried out for the All-Star team. He's made an impact, nursing an arm injury at times this year. Naderade, they call him.
That's an original nickname.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And, you know, 5-0, we are only in the 4th. And if he can do his job here, you know, they have threatened a couple times and stranded a couple runners going up against Reynolds. Idaho not out of the woods yet.
No, 5-0 in Little League Baseball is, I mean, it's still a good lead, but it's very, you know, one pitcher has a bad outing and a couple errors. You know, we just saw 3 runs in the first, and Mason Newland did nothing wrong.
So Naderade, Nathan Rivera, going to face the top part of the order. Let's see, they're going to have Chris Reynolds leading things off, and then the 3 and 4 hitters behind him. And they have done a nice job setting the table for the big hitters, Smith and DeBoer, thus far.
So we got a little bit of movement. Josh Lubin goes back behind home plate. So he catches, pitches, goes back to catching. Mason Droob goes to first base from center field. And it looks like Aiden Dorr is now the new center fielder.
Taking Droob's spot out there.
Chris Reynolds right now is 0 for 2. A couple ground balls to the left side of the infield.
Bubba at the plate.
You really got to back it up if you're a Bubba. You know? I mean, that's one of those where you greet people with an arm punch.
You know, there's a
hey, Bubba, then you know,
yeah, there's
he
a
hits you in the
UCLA
arm.
softball player named Bubba Nichols. She can swing it. She's a home run hitter.
I did not know that.
There you go, a little softball knowledge. Here's a 2-1 offering.
So Wyoming is playing the pitch count game with their pitchers. You know, and we showed the stat. I think Josh Lubin got right around 35 pitches, and that will allow him to take only 1 day off. Mason Newland has 2 days off, so they're going to have everybody work a little bit.
And there's that ball hit up the middle. Newland knocks it down, can't make a throw. And reaching on the infield single is Reynolds. And to add to what you're talking about in terms of managing the pitching staff, they'd have to play tomorrow morning in their first game if they lose this one.
And that's, you know what, I mean, that's tough for me as a major leaguer to play a night game and then come back at 9 in the morning and, you know, be awake body-wise, ready to go. So you're trying to save a couple of your pitchers for tomorrow because it's going to be really difficult to bounce back within 12 hours of throwing. Of course, these guys are young and resilient, and they're able to do that. But you don't want to wipe out your whole pitching staff tonight chasing a 5-run deficit. You also want to get everybody a little bit of work, get their nerves out of the system.
Yeah, get a taste of things here, and of course, everybody gets to play. Mandatory play in Little League Baseball. Smitty's been productive so far, Cooper Smith. Pulls it towards the second baseman. Clouston flips to second for one on to first. Double play, 4-6-3, they turn it.
And that was textbook. Nathan Rivera is probably the happiest guy in San Bernardino right now. Leadoff single, Cooper Smith's having a great tournament. Nice ground ball. Kyler Clouston, good flip. Mason Newland comes across the bag. Nice transfer in the glove. Throws a perfect strike for the double play.
So it really is a pitcher's best friend. You can vouch for that.
Yeah, it was my best friend.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
okay.
We hung out quite a bit and made sure that I took care of the double plays when we got them.
4-6-3 variety there. And Kyle Seaman's going to bat now. Have not played Destiny. That's his favorite video game. Haven't gone down that path.
I have not either. No, I can talk Fortnite with you a little bit, but I can't go down the Destiny path. Kyle Seaman came in yesterday, closed out the game, closed out their win on the mound.
Oh, inside. He had to duck out of there. Did a good job ducking the helmet in towards the catcher and away from him.
Yeah, I thought that had him. I really thought this had him. Nice job. He ducks and turns. Usually can't think of two things at once, but he got that done. Usually just, try to get the kids to turn their back so nothing of major importance gets hit.
That's textbook, right? That's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah. No, that was perfect. You want to get the head turned. You want to get your back turned. It's going to hurt, but it's not going to hurt as bad as you getting hit in the chest or the ribs or other regions.
2-1 now to Seaman.
You know what? I love that look. Nathan Rivera is having a blast right now. He's smiling, locked in. And you know what? You're talking textbook. Rivera, when you saw him starting towards home plate, for me, when I'm teaching younger kids, most of the time I see these kids and their eyes come off of home plate. So you're throwing the ball to the catcher's glove, and if you take your eyes off the focus, you're not going to be very successful. So I see a lot of kids doing a Fernando Valenzuela where their eyes disappear, they look down, they look somewhere else, and then they try to refocus on the glove as they're moving forward, and it's impossible. And Nathan Rivera does a really nice job of keeping eyes focused on target.
3-2 to Seaman, driven to right at Peterson. He goes low to get it to end the inning. Double play ball helps out. Naderay does his job, a single with the 4-6-3. Double play helps, and it's still a 5-0 game. Newland's going to lead it off next for the Gillette Little Leaguers. Little League alums that have made big dreams realities. How about Lance Lynn from Brownsburg, Indiana, and on August 6th at the White Sox. 7 1/3, 2 hits. He sets 19 in a row down.
Strikes out 9.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
And it all started here at Little League Baseball for Lance Lynn, and he stepped it up like you did at the next level and beyond.
Oh, Lance Lynn, that's a great first outing for the New York Yankees. I got to be really honest, Trey, I am so glad that they have not flashed my picture from Little League up there.
Did you like the uniforms, or?
I played at Keystone Little League in Omaha, Nebraska. Couple different teams. Every year was a different sponsor. That's what's so great about Little League. You remember your sponsor, Harding Glass.
I'm glad I didn't play you. I was down in St. Louis. And I probably, I would have tried to lay a bunt down against you. It might not have gone well. There's a little looper towards the first baseman and to the bag. Make the play. 1 down, Smith.
Now, you know what? I'm going to try to put this politely. I had control issues.
At that age.
And I threw hard, and it was all over the board, man. I could hit 4 guys. I could walk 6. I'd strike out 15. It was just no concept of where I was throwing the ball, but it was going to be as hard as I could throw it. And if you laid down a bunt, I probably would not like that.
Well, some people have to find a way to get on any way possible. Here's Josh Lubin after Newland's retired, and that's fouled off.
Well, you can wait until tomorrow to lay down a bunt if you need to find a way on. Just don't do it on me.
But so some lessons learned for you at the Little League level is what you're saying. You weren't a finished product by any means.
Oh, I wasn't even close. I really was trying to throw the ball into the big box.
Lubin strikes out. That ball's going to get away from the catcher, and he's going to reach here.
We just saw an 0-2 Chris Reynolds curveball. Good pitch down in the zone. Lubin goes after it. And Avery Sherry just wasn't able to get out and block it. No, I was just trying to throw the ball somewhere near the strike zone, make something happen. But you were talking about bunting. One of my favorite stories is watching Nolan Ryan when I was with the Orioles. And he would throw his last warm-up pitch going into the start the game. And then he would walk over to the third base line and act like he's tamping it down. And Mike Flanagan was one of my teammates, and Flanagan was sitting next to me, and I looked at him and I was like, you know, it's so bizarre to see. He throws the last warm-up pitch, catcher throws it down, Nolan walks straight to the third base line, tamping it down. And I'm like, Flanagan, what's he doing? Because we're in Texas. It's perfect. It hasn't rained. The infield's flawless.
Yeah.
And Flanagan just looks at me. He's basically telling us that if anybody bunts on him, he's going to hit him.
Didn't have to say it, just kind of deliver it that way.
Just kind of looked over to the dugout, tamped down a little bit, going, no bunting today, boys. And that would be old school.
Little gamesmanship there.
Little gamesmanship. 60s and 70s Major League Baseball, 80s. Well, Nolan pitched into the 90s.
2-2 to Mason Drube with 1 out and 1 on. Wyoming trying to get on the board for the first time against Chris Reynolds. Bouncer over the circle, and that's going to find its way into center field. Throw to third is not made as it's cut off by the shortstop Newby. And that's a seeing eye single for Drube, and runners on the corners.
Okay, I know you've been dying to say it. Go ahead. Say it.
You got me.
That was their first hit.
Well, I was going to let you steal the thunder, and that's a tough one to give up because it just was hit hard enough to find its way through.
That would be a seeing eye single. This found its way through about 3 different guys, made it over Chris Reynolds' head. And really gutsy base running by Josh Lubin. The ball's rolling into center field, and he's going for third. He's taking full aggressive base running.
There's a wild pitch to Rivera, and scoring is Lubin. And they're on the board. It's 5-1.
And the aggressive base running by Josh Lubin pays off. Wild pitch to the backstop. And sometimes the ball comes off this backstop right back to the catcher. This one must have hit a soft spot and it died back in the back, and Avery Sherry had no play at Lubin at home plate.
And what's frustrating here, and you just talked about how pitchers can let it bother them. He had a strikeout. There was a drop third strike. Yeah, that ends up being the run here.
Well, you have 12-year-olds that have pretty good breaking balls, and Chris Reynolds is one of them. Well, these catchers haven't seen very many breaking balls to catch. You know, they don't work pitcher-catcher in a bullpen like the major league guys do. So, you know, it's like a foreign pitch a little bit to these catchers, you know, seeing these breaking balls, and the pitcher really doesn't have an idea where the breaking ball is going for the most part. And so it's a lot of work, and you know, these guys haven't played together the whole season. They've just been playing together for the last 2 months.
Rivera batting in this 4-run game with 1 out and 1 on. 2-2.
Why does everybody that's 5'3" like Jose Altuve?
Yeah, he's one of the best hitters around. And there's Rivera caught looking. Big strikeout for Reynolds. 2 away.
A fastball inside corner. Avery Sherry does a nice job of catching it out front, framing it for home plate umpire Jeff Thompson, and gets the called third.
And now Aiden Peterson scheduled to hit here. And I think we're going to have a pinch hitter coming in.
Aiden Peterson got all the way up to home plate. He's ready to hit. He's ready to go. He had some good hacks in the last AB in the second inning. Yeah,
originally, Joey Latore was going to come out. Yeah, it will be Joey Latore getting the call here. The hit for Peterson.
So Wyoming is in the same spot as Idaho. They have 13 players, 4 substitutes. So Coach Dorr has to do his job of making sure that everybody plays, everybody gets an at-bat. This is Joey Latore's chance to get another run across for Wyoming.
Looks at one outside for ball 1. Latore is a big Dodgers fan. Likes Kenny Chesney, little country music, and the movie Field of Dreams. There's a good one.
Oh, that's another great baseball movie.
Kevin Costner. 1-1.
I know you cried when the doctor crossed the line and turned back into the old guy, didn't you?
There's no crying in baseball. Here's a 1-1.
Throwing all the baseball adages and lines out at me. A league of their own.
You know, I think an underrated one is 8 men out. Take it back to
that was a good one.
The White Sox. Shoeless Joe Jackson. Here's a 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now to Latore.
I don't know if we'll see it again. Joey Latore was a little bit late on that first pitch fastball. Now watch, he's going to choke up on the bat. He's going to get up here, see how he's got about an inch down from the handle. He's going to choke up, makes him a little bit quicker to the ball.
Caught looking. Good pitch from Reynolds. Paints the corner and ends the inning. 1 across, but that's it for Wyoming. We're through 4. Erickson, Newby, and Dannenberg scheduled to come up for Idaho. They lead by the 5-1 margin. Idaho trying to move to 2-0 in the Northwest region. They lead Wyoming 5-1 through 4 innings. Little League would like to extend its appreciation to its official sponsors like Canon and Major League Baseball's Play Ball Initiative, who help to maintain the strength and leadership of the Little League program. Little League would also like to thank its dedicated volunteers who make the program a special experience for millions of children. So Wyoming finally getting on the board, and now Naderade will try to keep this a 5-1 game. Rivera out there.
Cooper Erickson re-enters. Had a single in the first inning.
He's going to hit in the 8th spot in the order. Actually, I'm sorry, he's hitting in the 5th spot in the order.
Chase Sanders pinch hit in the 3rd. In Cooper Erickson's spot. High fastball catches the edge. Naderade doing a nice job of pumping strikes. Try to go with a high fastball.
There it is.
He makes the pitch. It's Cooper Erickson laid off of it.
Gillette, Wyoming, the energy capital of the U.S. A team that brings back 5 guys from last year's trip to San Bernardino. Here's a 2-2. Fouled off. Oh, staying with it over there. Good play by number 9.
You make the catch?
He's got a Royals jersey on as well, which is pretty quality.
And then he gives the ball to the girl. It already starts.
You know what? That's the best move I think I've seen all day right there.
It is.
That's what it's all about right there. Little League Baseball. Popped up, foul ground, playable, and dropped. That was Drube, who had a chance over there.
Pop up right down the line. He's popping down, making sure that he's clear of the fence. And when you take your eyes off the ball, you keep moving forward. And by the time that he looked up, found the ball again, it was just a shade over his head. But he did it perfectly. You don't want to go running blindly over there and run into the camera pit. See if Nathan Rivera can step up and make a pitch. Overcome that. He got the pop-up that should have been first out of the inning. But
(3-2) is the count.
Well,
we thought the count was 3-2. Standing at first base is Erickson here, and they say that was ball 4.
Nobody seems to be arguing from Wyoming. Well, now we're thinking about questioning that call.
Yeah, I think Mike Dorr, the manager, spotted what we did. He's going to question what the count was here.
Well, they're going to go check to make sure that they get the call right. They've done a great job so far. Every once in a while, things happen. You lose track. You got that clicker. Every once in a while, that clicker gets wrong. Seen it happen. A couple Little League kids get struck out on with 1 strike on the 2nd strike.
Yeah, they're going to bring him back. It's not ball 4, so Erickson's still up there. 3-2 the count. And there's strike 3. So it ends up being a important call there, and that's out number 1.
That's a big break for Wyoming. Goes from leadoff runner on first. And I think that's the end of Naderade for the day.
How's your arm? I'm tired. I know, I can tell. Okay, so we can keep you ready to go for tomorrow, the next couple days. Aiden! Let's go! You're going to go to center, okay? Finish up strong. Good job. Very good. Big improvement. Proud of you. Good job. Okay, you go to center. Yes, sir.
Okay, put him on the mound. Warm him up.
Go, Nate. Go to center.
Yep, that's got to come off. Good job, buddy. 24.
Yep.
All right, go back, tell the coach.
You heard it from Mike Dorr. A pitching change here. Dorr's going to come in. And the pitcher Rivera goes out to center field. 5-1 game. We're back after the change.
Please, now pitching, number 44, Aiden Dorr. Moving to center field, number 42, Nathan Rivera. Pickstop for Nathan Rivera,
Aiden Dorr is a new pitcher, the son of the manager Mike Dorr. You heard Mike earlier making that move. Doorknob gets the call here. He's on the hill, and they're going to put Rivera out in center field. They make that straight switch there. And the bespectacled right-hander goes to work as he's facing Braden Newby in this 4-run game.
Doorknob being an affectionate term.
Absolutely. He's got a sister. He's a 3-time state gymnastics champion, Reese. And he's a kind of an emotional leader. Coaches call him a linebacker.
You can't even say it. I'll say it, a linebacker in a uniform. That's a great one.
Base hit to right. And that is Newby, and he's going to hold on with a long single.
Oh, that is funny. Sorry. I just lost my partner for a little while, so I'm going to take over. Fastball down in the zone. Braden Newby drives it to left field. Base hit. And Idaho continues. Greets Aiden Dorr very rudely.
That was a solid single. And now 1 out and 1 on. It'd be important to get this 6th run here, go up 5. And that one will get away from the catcher. And Newby will move up to second base. So now you got that runner in scoring position. And again, that 6th run would be a big one here in the top of the 5th.
Looked like Aiden Dorr tried to throw a changeup, just got it back in the hand a little bit too deep, wasn't able to control it.
Dannenberg already has a run-scoring single. 2-1 now.
Man, Dannenberg is about as close to home plate as I think you're legally allowed.
Look at that. Crowding it.
4 inches. And by this time of the game, that chalk line's been slid over a couple times. Home plate umpire Jeff Thompson, you know, if he's not paying attention to it, you can make him aware he's supposed to have about 6 inches between that foot and home plate.
Strike called on the inside corner. Throw down to third is off the mark. Newby slides in safely.
We have a little question down the third base about interference. I don't think Idaho's going to get the call. Here he goes. Gets the strike. Ball pops out of the glove Lubin throws it up. Great job of backing up by Newland.
Dannenberg hits a bouncing ball to the second baseman. Clausen's only play at first, and he throws out Dannenberg, but that pushes the run across. Coming in is Newby, and it's 6-1.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why Wyoming didn't have the infield drawn in. You're struggling to score runs. You have 6 outs left in this game. You're already down 4 runs, and you can see that the infield is back. So all it takes is a routine ground ball, and it's an RBI.
And that 6 run could loom large here, top of the 5th, as Idaho has really been an offensive machine here with a 16 run outing in their first game, 6 more here in game 2, and a pinch hitter coming up.
Well, A.J. Curry batted in this spot in the 3rd, had a single and an RBI. You might be seeing Carl Schwarzer back up at the plate.
This is going to be Curry. They go back to Curry again, A.J.
We got 2 outs, 1 run in. A.J. at the plate.
And he's hit by the pitch.
For the squad. I always laugh how everybody's clapping and cheering and so happy that he got hit by a pitch. He's running down to first base going, that stings.
Kind of clipped him there.
But that was, you know what? That was well done too. He leaned in, ducked the shoulder, make sure he got the back turned.
And Sean Cherry's going to make another move here with a pinch hitter. Looks like Caden Simmons gets an opportunity again. He's already batted once. He walked.
Well, there's a lot of conversations going on with the third base coach, and not quite sure where the pause is. Plate umpire Jeff Thompson was back behind confirming the move, but it shouldn't be a move. He was already still in the game. So I don't understand what the delay is.
Simmons batting with 2 down, and Curry at first base. And that hits him on the helmet. He's okay, and he's on.
Well, that's back-to-back hit by pitches. First base umpire James Davis comes over to make sure he's okay. And might be a father-son talk. Here it is again. Looked like a breaking ball, something off speed. Just got away a little bit.
Spun the helmet in. Tried to get away from it.
Tried to get away from it. Stings a little bit. You'd rather see him stand up and take it in the.
Let's go, stay up. You guys are kind of dying.
Coach Mike Dorr having some words of encouragement for his son Aiden. Probably gave him the positive pep talk about how many times he's been out here pitching and done well and been in these tough situations. He's 1 out away from getting out of this. Something along those lines, play psychological, play the psychology game.
This is Coach's kid against Coach's kid here, pitching to Avery Cherry now. Top of the order. And those Coach's kids do have something special, don't they? There's a little innate ability to get things done that you grow up around it.
I'm a coach's kid. My dad coached 35 years in Omaha, Nebraska at the high school level. Man, I'll tell you what, that baseball game, the only down part is that baseball game comes home every night. One way or the other, you cannot get away from it.
Cherry draws the walk, and the bases are loaded now with 2 down. And here's Chris Reynolds.
He's had a long wait. He's at 63 pitches. He's pitched the entire game so far. Bubba. 2 for 3.
Strike on the corner.
Well, that's a really nice way of getting out of a funk as a pitcher. You've hit 2 guys in a row. You just walk somebody on 4 pitches. Hey, let's change up the pitch. Let's throw a curveball.
You saw Curry, Simmons, and Cherry on the base pass. Here's the 0-1.
That ball just missed down out of the zone. Aiden, if I'm you right now, throw that curveball again. Tried to, just missed up a little bit.
Three and one.
Those pitches are really close to the bottom of the zone. Jeff Thompson has been consistent. Home plate umpire Jeff Thompson has been consistent on the bottom of the zone, and those are close, but.
And he walks Reynolds and walks in a run. It's 7-1. Curry scores.
And here comes Coach Mike Dorr. This might be it for Aiden Dorr for the day on the mound.
Okay, hey. Composure, okay? Let's go. All right, Dom. Got it? Good? All right, let's go.
Who's that?
Sometimes it's a word or two that's all you need to say out there.
Yeah, and you know, he went out there, and it's been 4 straight hitters of hit by pitch, and 2 walks.
And we're going to take a break with a pitching change. 7-1 Idaho, top of the 5th at Al Houghton Stadium in San Bernardino. Dominic Hecker, the new pitcher for the Gillette Little Leaguers, as they move Dorr off the mound and to third base. Bases loaded, 2 down. Cooper Smith at the plate. He has singled already tonight, and he scored a couple runs. He'd like to take this out of here and make this a 10-run lead in the top of the 5th and bring that 10-run rule into play.
Is that what he's thinking? He's thinking grand slam right now. I thought we never talk about home runs. No, that wasn't him.
Hits that foul, that's out of play.
Yeah, Cooper Smith's had a good tournament here in San Bernardino so far. A couple hits yesterday, 1 for 2 today with a walk. Batting in the 3 hole, got a really nice swing. Dominic Hecker coming in from third base. Tasked with keeping this game close.
2-1, and nowhere to put him. But the other problem waiting on deck is the cleanup man, Austin DeBoer, who's really swinging it well. He's scheduled up next. 2-2.
That looked like a changeup or something off speed. Good pitch.
Runs the count full now.
You gotta love Cooper Smith up there. Those pitches are close. He's just taking them like, I know that's a ball.
fights that one off. Kind of jammed him there.
Recognized late that pitch was going to be breaking down and in for a strike, and did everything he could to protect home plate and stay alive for another pitch. The runners will be running 3-2, 2 out, so as soon as this pitch crosses home, you see everybody taking off.
Smith lives to swing it one more time after fouling that off. Fouled off, third base side, out of play.
And the race is on. If it gets in the oh. There's the smart one right there. He stood at the bottom of the stair and waited while the other kids are chasing it all over the place.
Got the glove with him. Here's the 3-2. Stays away from that one. That's ball 4. That's an RBI for Smith. And it's 8-1.
That was a great at bat. Fouled off 4 pitches, 3-2. You know, one emergency hack just to stay alive. He recognized it was going to be breaking down into the zone, fought it off. And he looks like a baseball player. Got the eye black and glasses on. Now we got Austin DeBoer.
Big 2-run double first time up. This is the guy you want up there with the bases loaded.
Well, not if you're Wyoming.
For the guys in blue. I like seeing these kids from the Northwest, a lot of them. You see swimming, hunting, and fishing on the agenda for DeBoer along with baseball. They get outdoors, a lot of outdoor activities. One and 2.
Austin DeBoer thought that ball was up. He's looking down to his coach at third base. And gave up on that one. Let's see if he fights like Cooper Smith just did.
2 and 2. Tough one to lay off of that high pitch.
Dominic Hecker steps behind the mound, gets off the dirt, gets his fingers wet.
Ground ball hit to the shortstop. Newland, long throw. It's off the mark. Safe at the bag, and another run comes in. And they extend the lead now to 9-1, and the bases are loaded again.
Well, routine ground ball to Mason Newland. Comes up, and the throw looked to be just a little bit up the line. Mason Drew couldn't keep the foot on the bag. He just kind of jumped out to and reached for it. I don't know, how much he's gotten to play first base, but wasn't able to keep his foot on the bag.
Well, here's Saunders now, hitting with the bases loaded. Saunders going to hit for Erickson in the 5th spot in the order. Now, that 11th run, which would give him a 10-run lead, now standing at second base. So they get to that. They could bring the 10-run rule into effect. We still have to play the bottom half of the inning. Wyoming gets their opportunity. There's strike 1 to Saunders. Single could do the trick as you look at the base runners.
A lot of damage being done with 2 outs.
Chased one that was off the plate, 0-2.
See if he chokes up a little bit. Just try to hit a ground ball somewhere, make something happen. Hacksaw Ridge.
Bounced up there, Lubin with a good job. Acting like a wall back there.
Clint Eastwood and Hacksaw Ridge.
Popped up. In foul ground, the catcher can't get there. Great effort by Lubin, and that was actually a play that he probably had the best chance at. Pitcher also took a look.
Here to again pop up straight up. And he's just struggling to find out where that ball is going to land. Started a couple different directions. Those are tough because the ball's spinning back towards home plate.
Liner off the pitcher, knocked down. The throw to first is in time as Hecker stays with it, and that'll end the inning. 4 runs across for Idaho in the top half of the 5th, and they have added to their advantage a 9-1 lead over Wyoming. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up. Three big innings for Idaho. They lead Wyoming 9-1, bottom of the 5th, trying to go to 2-0 in Northwest Region play. Catch all the excitement of the Little League World Series, including how to visit Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Scores, stats, highlights, and more. Visit littleleague.org or follow along on social media with the hashtag LLWS. Well, 63 pitches for Chris Reynolds. He's been really good. Gave up a run in the 4th inning. That's it. Humming right along, and he's had plenty of offense to back him up.
We've had a lot of delays, substitutions. I'm not sure what we're discussing right now.
Looks like a pinch hitter possibly for the Gillette Little Leaguers.
A lot of moves being made. Cade Williams needs to hit.
It's going to be Carver Partlow.
All right, he needs to hit too.
Partlow hits in the 8th spot in the order.
So I owe Mel Gibson an apology, directed Hacksaw Ridge. I was thinking Heartbreak Ridge.
There you go.
With Clint Eastwood. Little lighter movie.
If that's the mood you're in, you want to kind of go low key. There's a strike on the corner. Mr. Scotland, Carver Partlow. Here's a new one.
That is a new one. I mean, is Partlow Scottish?
Bouncer coming off the mound with it, and shuttling it to first base is Reynolds. Gets it to Smith to retire Partlow. That's out number 1.
Chris Reynolds now at 66 pitches, which will take him into the mandatory 4 days rest. So he looks like he might be trying to go the distance. Little League Baseball has the 85 pitch limit. Can't go past that. 66 is the limit to come back within 3 days, and he is now past that limit.
Well, everybody they've thrown out there in this regional has been pretty good. They got Newby to start that Game 1 victory over Idaho, and they used some other pitchers as well. They've all been effective, and when you have an offense backing you up, that makes things a little bit better. Had a 16-6 win over Washington.
Avery Sherry coming out, having a little discussion. Not quite sure what we're discussing. He just got the first guy out on a routine ground ball back to him. Just falls behind in a 2-0 count.
You saw that line there, 9 Ks.
Quietly.
Yeah. Strike to Clouston.
Very quiet 9 Ks.
Spread them out. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Make it 3 in the fourth.
Well, that's not really spreading anything out. That's just bunching them all into 4 innings.
Never struck out the side. We've seen that a couple times in this regional. Here's a 2-2. And there's strike 3. Make it 10 Ks now, 2 down.
Really good location, 0-2 fastball, down and away. You can't put it any better than that. And we have another visit with home plate umpire Jeff Thompson from head coach Mike Dorr.
Top of the lineup coming up here for the Gillette Little Leaguers. And Seth Peterson was scheduled to hit. We mentioned the pitch count. 85 is the max you can pitch. And you need 4 days rest, 66 plus.
So today being Monday, Chris Reynolds will not be eligible to pitch until Saturday. And you know what? I mean, I like the theory. Hey, you know what? We might possibly have another game tomorrow. We might get a day off tomorrow. Gets all my guys coming back from yesterday's game. And their pitching's pretty fresh. He's keeping everybody else pretty fresh. So and he's only at 71 pitches, 46 strikes. He's throwing a great game.
We're going to have a pinch hitter here. Cade Williams is the guy that's got the bat right now, standing outside the dugout. And they get that squared away. He's going to hit for Seth Peterson. Cade's just getting a couple practice swings in here. Now he's going to head to home plate.
Here's Edward Booth for Wyoming. This is for Seth Peterson, number 12, Cade Williams.
Cade Williams first at bat of the tournament.
4'9", 76 pounds, 12-year-old. We understand a little bit of the delay. They're trying to make sure the mandatory play rules are followed clearly. Every now and then something will happen through the course of the season where they deviate from that. They're just making sure in this game that it's followed exactly the way they want to, following the Little League rules. That's what we're being told.
No, and it's completely understandable, and that's Mike Dorr's job, is to make sure that everybody gets playing time. And so Wyoming having 4 substitutes, they each have to get at bat. The penalty is that Mike Dorr would be kicked out for at least the next game if they have a substitution violation.
Cade Williams strikes out, and we're through 5. Idaho in control here, up 9-1. We go to the 6th at Al Houghton Stadium. 9-1 lead for Idaho. We move into the 6th inning. 6 innings, regulation, Little League baseball, and Idaho looking good at a chance at a 2-0 record. Want to play Little League in your local community? Visit playlittleleague.org. Enter your address and find a Little League program near you. Carver Partlow, Mr. Scotland they call him, is on the mound here, and he is the 6th pitcher of the evening for this Gillette Little League squad. Mr. Scotland.
I don't think I've seen this many conversations between a home plate umpire and a manager without the manager being thrown out of the game at some point.
Just trying to get it right there with the mandatory play, and then this switch at pitcher. And
well, unless I'm missing something, all they have to do is get one at bat. And all 4 guys have gotten their at bat. Partlow's getting time on the mound. He's facing Braden Newby, who is 1 for 2.
Partlow is the first Kansas City Royals fan I've seen here in the bios we've gone through at the regional.
Well, Kansas City has a really great fan base.
Yeah, they've fallen on hard times late. You know, they're up at the top, and now they're down at the bottom.
Yeah, but they have a really great fan base. I was lucky enough to play there twice, and that place totally supports the Royals, the Chiefs, the old Kansas City Kings.
Oh, yeah. Tiny Archibald and Phil Ford later on. Inside, 3-1 now to the hitter. Braden Newby.
Carver Partlow getting his first experience on the mound here in San Bernardino.
Ball 4. Newby's on. You know, Idaho really hasn't been tested in the first 2. I mean, a 16-6 run rule win over Washington. Here they are now. Jake Dannenberg. And, you know, the Coeur d'Alene kids, they've been playing together for a long time. Great core of kids that have a good chemistry. That can go a long way. That's hit hard into left field, and Dannenberg has a single. And Newby's now at second base.
Well, that's Dannenberg's 3rd hit of the night. And another good game. He had a good one yesterday.
And here's Carl Schwartzer as they try to put double digits on the board here in the 6th inning. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the 6th for Wyoming. They'll have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up, but they've had a tough time generating any offense. They scored a run back in the 4th. Again, the loser of this game plays tomorrow, and that is likely to be Wyoming, and unless they're able to come back with a amazing comeback in the bottom half. Roller to the 3rd baseman. Throw over in time. Good job there.
Great
by
play
Dorr.
By Aiden Dorr. I thought Carver Partlow might have a chance at this ball. Softly hit to his right. Aiden Dorr coming across and throws a dart to get the only out that he could get.
And it's all about getting outs now with this comfortable lead. They're not worried about those base runners so much with Christ at the plate, Nolan Christ.
Well, and we talked about it earlier. You can see that Wyoming is conceding the run. They're down 9-1. You know, I'm not quite sure why they're not trying to take away that run. You know, 8 runs is going to be hard enough as it is. 9 runs is getting harder. 10 runs, you know, I might be bringing the infield in.
Christ is a good story. Newest member of their travel team, the guy at the plate right now. They picked him up 1 week before the All-Star selections. Fastest kid on the team. Dad is a preacher. Fouls it back.
Fastest kid, newest kid. Struck out in, no, he walked in his first at bat, so he is 0 for 0. He'll be back out in left field for the bottom of the 6th. This game has slowed down enormously with all the substitutions, the new pitchers, and Jeff Thompson is not opening up a home plate at all. Thought there's been a couple pitches that were close enough in a 9-1 game that might expand the zone a little bit.
Partlow misses outside and he walks Christ, and the bases are loaded.
So Partlow's at 16 pitches. He needs to stay under 20 to be able to come back tomorrow.
Top of the order, Avery Cherry. Single and a walk, couple runs scored for Avery. And, you know, if there's some kind of a prize given for runs scored in a regional, Idaho's got a chance to win some honors here. Swing and a miss. Just the acknowledgement effect, they've scored 16 runs in the first game and 9 more here already.
Carver Partlow just broke out a really nice changeup, made Avery Cherry look a little bit bad.
All right, if you're Mr. Scotland, you've got the count you want here, 1 and 2.
I think I'm throwing that changeup again, Trey. Trying something different, trying to induce another double play that the infield for Wyoming has already turned.
Fouled off, stays 1 and 2. Cherry's older brother, a catcher on the United States Merchant Marine Academy baseball team.
Wow. I didn't know the Merchant Marines had a baseball academy.
Of course, Dad, a former Marine. One of 4 kids on the team that's been to the All-Star State Finals 4 years in a row. They won 3 out of 4. Full count now.
Carver Partlow steps back off the back of the mound, rubs the ball up a little bit, tries to gather himself. Like that, trying to refocus a little bit. Went from a 1-2 count to a 3-2 count. I saw him looking in the dugout. He stepped back off the mound.
Payoff pitch and a strikeout. Strikes out Cherry, and they're 1 out away from getting out of this inning here.
Well, whatever he did to step back off the mound and regroup himself, he did a nice job of doing that. Coach Mike Dorr is going to try to save him for tomorrow. He's going to bring in Aiden Peterson.
And this is, let's see, this is the 7th pitcher used by Wyoming here. Down 9-1. And, you know, he's thinking big picture because he wants to have everybody available tomorrow morning. He can go with a catch-all staff again in the morning. They'll be the first game if they don't win this one.
Yeah, and it's not looking like they will, but yeah, I like the approach. You got everybody available tomorrow, and you can go at it again. Everybody gets the experience of pitching here.
And here's Latore, the 7th pitcher, Joey Latore, a left-hander, will come in. You know, it's rare, I'm looking at your scorecard of mine here. I've got a room here for 6 pitchers, and we're on to 7, and I'm off the score sheet. Had a chance in the past to do a 15-inning baseball game where I ventured into this territory, but 7 pitchers.
And you're such a neat freak too that it's really bothering you that your score sheet's gotten a little bit messy. You got the pitchers running off the page.
Yeah, I'm into the highlight section where I normally have important notes, but it's been all about pitching in this one. 7 hurlers used, and Latore is the 7th. And again, they're going to play in an elimination game if they can't come from behind here tomorrow morning. So the season will be on the line.
Well, the one positive thing is you've gotten everybody the experience of being on the mound here. Lefty Latore getting his 8 warm-up pitches in, coming cold off the bench. Rivera moves out to right field.
Latore with 2 down, bases loaded. And here's Chris Reynolds. Reynolds, the starting pitcher, and has a single, a walk. He's reached on an error. He's been productive.
Well, he's been productive just by being on the mound, and currently has a 1-hit shutout. No, excuse me, a 1-hitter going. 1 run scored. Doesn't matter what he does at the plate. If I'm Chris Reynolds, I did my job as a pitcher today. 2-1 count. Torrey started off with a good strikes, missed the last 2.
Here's a good story. Latore's dad, Nick, had cancer return prior to the season. Now he's cancer-free. It's a great piece of news for him as this kid pitches here in the Western Regional.
They're going to try to get together. He and Josh Lubin got a runner on second base. Make sure that they're mixing up their signs. Idaho has a couple lip readers on their bench, so we're going to disguise what we're saying. I mean, for the most part, we could be talking about Fortnite game last night, or hey, let's go hit the pool after the game.
Who do we got tomorrow if we don't win here? You're probably not thinking ahead until this game is done, but it'll be a big game tomorrow if they're not able to come from behind. 2-2 to Reynolds. Full count now.
Well, I think that was what we were discussing. Hey, do you want to throw that curveball? He's playing Fortnite. You could see he was running.
There's ball
Jeff
4.
Thompson open up the strike zone a little bit.
Reynolds is going to pick up the RBI here. That'll add to his big night, and it's now 10-1, and they have reached double digits here in the 6th inning.
I was asking home plate umpire Jeff Thompson to open up the strike zone a little bit. I know he's held that bottom of the zone really close and has not come off of it, but it's 10-1.
Cooper Smith out in front of that one. "26 runs from the Idaho offense in 2 days of work.
And we're back to the top of the lineup. Cooper Smith. An RBI walk in the 5th.
Rips it to right. Base hit for Smith. That's going to plate a couple more runs. And runners on the corners now as Smith picks up his 4th RBI of the game. And it's 12-1.
Well, he's been hitting it. He's been having a good tournament so far. Got a big smile on his face knowing he just knocked in 2 more. And it doesn't get any easier. Austin DeBoer comes up. He's been swinging well.
RBI double his first time up. Chopper hit up the middle. Through and into center field. Another run scores. It's 13-1 as Reynolds touches home plate.
Well, nice soft ground ball. It hits off the front of home plate. One chop. Mason Newland does all he can do to make the play. Austin DeBoer is running hard down first base. It's going to be a bang-bang play.
Well, that's his third RBI.
And, you know, Mason Newland that was his only shot at getting the out.
And it looks like Chase Saunders is going to hit here. We have already seen him at the plate. And the only question now, can they get to that number 16 that they put on the board last night against Washington?
You're the only one asking that question. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about getting to 16 runs.
It was a rhetorical question.
Oh.
11 hits now. And Idaho trying to go to 2-0. And adding to their cushion here against Wyoming. The Gillette Little Leaguers will have their opportunity in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 6 innings regulation Little League Baseball.
There's a nice pitch by Joey Latore. Ahead 1-2. I'm hoping Josh Lubin doesn't go out to ask him if he's going to want to throw that breaking ball again. I hope he just puts down the 2 fingers. Let's call it and throw it.
Here's the 1-2. Goes with a fastball, 2-2. 3 in the first, 2 in the third, 4 in the fifth, 4 in the sixth for Coeur d'Alene. Full count, throw down to first, and the runner back in there, DeBoer.
Nice snap throw by Josh Lubin behind the plate, looking to help his pitcher out, get him out of a jam.
3-2 from the southpaw, fouled off.
Oh, I love the fact Chase Sanders still fighting for this at bat. This at bat is important to him. This at bat is important to Joey Latore. Even though it says 13-1 on the scoreboard, these guys are still playing hard.
3-2, he misses outside, bases are loaded. So 9 have come to the plate in this inning. It started with Newby drawing a walk, and now it'll be Newby's spot in the order, and it'll be Newby batting.
Who else do you want to hit for him, Trey? They've used all their substitutes. He's gotten 4 at bats. He's 1 for 2 with 2 walks.
Did bounce back to the pitcher his first time up. Gets his second opportunity in this inning. Bases full. Fouls off the first offering. And second offering, 0-2 now. And Latore is a strike away from getting this to the bottom half.
Let's see what he tries to do. He's been trying to work away and just missing away.
Newby fighting off that one.
He's been on base 3 times so far today. Had a nice game. Starting pitcher yesterday.
0-2, and he strikes out. And Latore ends that top half of the 6th. 4 runs, bases left loaded. 13-1 Idaho. Wyoming comes up in the bottom of the 6th, down 12. Idaho on the doorstep, but going 2-0 in the Northwest Regional. They lead Wyoming 13-1 as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. And it is Chris Reynolds trying to finish off a gem. He has struck out 10. He's allowed just one hit, one run back in the fourth inning. He's at 76 pitches, and he's going to try to close the door and get the CG, the complete game here.
I think we've only seen one CG, Trey, so far in San Bernardino. Chris Reynolds done a great job. Quietly, I don't know how you can quietly strike out 10.
Found a way.
But he's quietly struck out 10.
It was all about the offense. They were getting all the attention here tonight. 13 runs and 11 hits. Here's Aiden Dorr to lead it off. Fouls off the first offering. Out there to swing it.
Aiden Dorr had a sac bunt in the first inning. Hit a ground ball to second base in the third, and this is his third at bat. Looking to get something started, get some positive emotion moving forward, because it's going to look like they're going to have a 9 a.m. game.
Pacific time. It's 9:50 p.m. Pacific time right now. Liner toward the shortstop, a soft liner, and an easy play for Newby. That's one out.
Mason Newland comes up. 0 for 2 on the day.
Strikeout and a ground out. Reynolds deals a fastball right at the knees for strike one. 80 pitches.
5 1/3.
1-1. If he can get an out here before that 85,
he's got a
he
chance.
can face that final hitter and close it out and get the complete game. That's the drama that's building here as you look at the pitches by inning. Liner, and that'll help right at Dannenberg, and he's got a chance to close this out now.
He's looking back at the board. He can go over 85 pitches if he starts the last hitter under 85 pitches. So he could even be at 84. He could pitch 90 pitches, but as long as the last hitter started at 84 pitches, he will be eligible to pitch.
Josh Lubin, ball one. This has been a yeoman-like effort from Chris Reynolds. Catches the corner with that one.
I mean, you got to look at this. He's at 84 pitches right now. 5 2/3 innings, and his velocity on his fastball has dropped a mile an hour, maybe 2.
That's it. It's bounced up there 2-1.
And there's that good curveball that he's used sparingly. It's been a 85 pitches. Probably 95% have been fastballs. He's barely thrown that breaking ball, and it's really good.
2-1, catches the corner, and they're a strike away. Reynolds looking for the complete game victory here. Trying to get Idaho to 2-0.
Man, that is just a calm, cool demeanor on a kid right there.
Ground ball, first baseman has it to the bag. Smith touches first base, and that will end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning. And Idaho wins it over Wyoming 13-1. The complete game win for Reynolds as he strikes out 11.
Great game. I mean, like I said, he was pumping fastballs, throwing 67. He was even throwing 65 in the 6th inning. Struck out 10 and just worked efficiently. Pitch count was down low. Great job by Chris Reynolds, star of the game for me.
How about these Coeur d'Alene Little Leaguers? They beat Washington 16-6 in 5 innings. They come back and beat this Wyoming team 13-1. Plenty of offense for the kids from up north.
Well, I mean, 13-1. There's some pitching involved too, but they scattered out the runs. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the third, 4 in the fifth, 4 in the sixth. They poured it on.
They're 2-0. Wyoming suffers the loss. They'll play first game tomorrow morning. Thanks to Greg Olson, I'm Trey Bender saying so long from San Bernardino. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. 2 days are in the books from the Western Regional Complex in San Bernardino. West Region and Northwest Region play continue tomorrow. So long for now.